welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ultra Channel. Today, I recommended to my friend here, Jo, that we watch a film called Man from Nowhere, known in Korea as Mr. Has alternative titles other than that, but today we're going to get his opinion on it, as I thought this is something that you should watch. I get a little bit more culture from doing so. So, let's jump right into it, shall we? And don't forget, guys, to do the stuff that YouTube likes, the bell, all that jazz. You know how YouTube is these days. So, let's get into it. So, JL, what's your general view on foreign films?
Well, me personally, I'm a weeaboo, so I'll watch anything. As far as like anime, I watch sub or dub. As far as foreign films that aren't like animated, I haven't watched much of anything that comes to mind, aside like clips and stuff like that. But I'm open to it. If it's good, I'll watch it. I'll try it out. So
I typically watch foreign films myself. I don't go out my way to do so, but when you run into good ones like RRR, which is probably one I will recommend to you later, if you haven't watched that, that was a big film. What did you think about the opening scene for this film? And now that you've watched it to its completion, did you expect it to play out the way that it did?
I mean, I really don't have much to really think about it. I just trying to figure out who was who and like kind of what was going on. But going and watching more of the movie, I had to go back and rewatch it. The whole bear, the big guy exchanging the drugs, him getting dropped the way he did, I was not expecting that. I was like, my guy's regular degular. My man, look, he just came out of Target.
It was an interesting scene. Now, I thought the opening shot, what it did was that it was a way to mislead the audience, right? Because if you think about it, the police officer that we later learned that, is basically a drug bust, right?
Yeah.
He has all the hallmarks that would make you think that he's going to be the lead of this show. And they even show you like how he just drops a guy casually. Someone that's,
Even before then, the way he walks
size.
up, my man grabs a bottle, pours it out all nonchalant. Like his guys are getting thrown. His guys are getting pumped up. And he just walks in like, yo, I'm about to get in here and this whole shit. They need me. That's why I'm here. That's why they pay me the big buck. He had that kind of swag on him.
And then,
He did it.
for the most part, for the rest of the film, he appears, but he's not as important as you might think. After that scene's over with and shifts on to someone else, I gotta know. So what was your thought about the relationship between the mother, the stranger, the daughter?
Now, we can start with the most shallow one, which, I mean, being the mom, I think her name was Ho, and our protagonist. And please forgive us because, hey, we watched the movie, we heard the names. By God, we don't remember how to say them. So my man, the protagonist, I'm going to call him Tae. So between Tae and Ho, the mom, they had like one scene together in the whole movie. So guys, we want to preface this and let you guys know, like, hey, we're not going to cover the full link of the movie. We want you to go and see the movie for yourself so we can have discussions. So we're not going to go through every event in the movie. I'm sure there's going to be spoilers that we want to talk about, but by far, just go and see the movie. It's on Amazon Prime. There's even a free version. I think it's dubbed. So you can see the movie. It's not hard.
Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can!
So their relationship is pretty much, it's about as deep as a plate of cereal. Not really much going on there.
I would disagree to some extent, right? Okay, well, that's what you feel about the mother. So what about the stranger and the daughter then?
Their relationship, of course, as the movie goes on, it develops more and more. I mean, my man, he's kind of passive to the whole thing. He's trying to be cute and trying to be endearing, because she doesn't have any real relationships in this whole movie, including her mother. Like, she calls her mom, but her mom's a piece of shit. Like, let's just get that out there. So the question being that you wonder, how do I think the relationship is between the mom and the daughter? There's not much there. She doesn't go outside and play as she's, shooting up. She struggles with things in the movie. It's a rated R film, so we see her. She deals with drug use, so she struggles with that in her ability to be a parent. So she's not there. She has the priorities all mixed up.
My viewpoint on all of that is different from yours. I feel like these three, they've had some sort of relationship. We don't know how long it's been going on, right? But they have an understanding with each other, right? Now it is implied that the mother doesn't really stand the stranger that much, right?
Do you remember she called him
But
a sex offender, a child abuse
yes,
to her daughter?
yes, I recall that. But immediately, what happened? She followed it up with, if you're that interested, right? There's some other stuff that you could do, right? I just took it more as, one, she's looking for where her daughter is, and that she cares to some extent. Two, she probably doesn't fully know him that well, but she may not think that he's absolutely. She's just showing the caution that a parent would have about hanging around someone that looks like they're tough and they don't socialize, right?
Hey, I don't know about
Just
you, but we
probably in
both
the
had parents. I ain't never had my mom, my dad say, "Yo, you see that guy over there? I might be petting kids." Like I said, we're gonna I'm gonna get back to her.
Oh, okay, all right. I look. That's just me speaking on the mom. I think the mom is more neglectful, probably abusively neglectful, depending
He
on
said
how you look
probably.
at it, right? Well, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, because we get an establishing shot of how bad it is, but I don't know if that's everyday life for her.
You know, it's
Right?
everyday life.
That's just where she.
I think the context kind of spells
Okay.
it out.
I mean, well, okay. Look, all right. You're trying real hard to make me be like, yeah, no, this lady is a piece of crap. Look,
Is she not?
Look. I didn't even get to the part I wanted to.
Okay, go ahead.
Hold
My
on.
bad. I'm
Let's
jumping
put
the gun.
let's put the mother on pause for a bit as we go on to the stranger and the daughter. All right. Now their relationship. Now this is where I think the English dub and the actual subtitle of the movie has its differences. While they're both good, I would say the subtitle is what you need to watch, not the dub. Not because the dub is bad, but because I think the context of some actions aren't quite the same. So in the subbed version, original version, the stranger comes off much more mean to the girl, in my opinion. He has less time for her and he's much more, tense. Or he still shows some kind actions, right, in person. Now, with an example of what I mean, right, when he first meets the girl, right, or the scene that we see with him, he threatens to outright kill her in the sub version. In the dub, he doesn't do that. He just calls her a thief, right? Like, that's a completely different context because even the mother might come across as slightly different in dub versus the English version. So just keep that in mind when we say these about the characters. It's a movie that I would suggest you watch twice with, the English dub if you care about that, and then watch it with the sub to see the differences between. The point is, what is consistent is that these two, for whatever reason, seem to understand or have a connection with each other, right? It may not come across as friendly to us, perhaps, but he's willing to look after her, and she really didn't have nowhere else to go. And he really didn't seem to have anyone else that he particularly cared about either. So I thought it was a good way to show relationships between the three. What was your thought when the daughter got caught by the police and the woman and the cops seemed kind of dismissive of her state and how they treated her in that scene? What did you think about the protagonist at the end of that as well?
Yeah, so far as with Somi getting caught by the cops, I mean, it was bound to happen. I mean, it's been placated up to this point that we all know Somi, the way she lives out here is that she steals because her mom doesn't got money like that. Her mom doesn't take care of her like that. So I wasn't super surprised. Now, as far as Tay, my man, he was peeping the whole scene. I was like, Tay, what the hell are you doing? You're just standing in a T-pose. Keep it moving. Keep it the fuck moving. Keep walking. But nevertheless, the whole interaction between like the woman, the cops, and so me and the little boy. I was like, ma'am, you keep your hands off her, all right? Sure, she stole from you, but will you be putting hands on somebody else's child? I'm like, cops, do something. Like just standing there like, oh man, please relax. My girl literally just putting paws on her. So that part had me a little wound up, and it's like, yo, had me think about the state of like countries. I mean, there's no country that is not like that where it has people that are impoverished, that are seen as different. So, even to the point where I think I made in my notes where the little boy even he touched her and the mom's like, don't touch her. You might get germs on you. I'm like, ma'am, you would end up with a whole bloody nose fucking with me like that. But yeah, that's how I kind of felt about it.
Yeah, it's probably somewhat of a culture difference to some extent, right? Because maybe theft might be taken more seriously there than it is here, right? Not saying that theft isn't ever taken seriously, but there was a real lack of empathy in that scene from everyone except, I would say, arguably the cops, right? Me, right? For the protagonist, he kind of put me in a catch 22 situation because I didn't think highly of him. Like, you could help the girl out, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if he did that in the way that he didn't want to get close to her, or he was like, you need to learn a lesson of not to steal. Because what's important about this scene is that she's told him, I don't steal anymore, right?
Yeah.
Both in the subbed version and in the dub version, she tells him that.
Mhm.
So after he gives the flowers to someone that was important in his life, which we learn about later in the movie, right? He comes to that scene of, perhaps the only person that he really socialized and talked with, basically lied. Then she lied again of saying that he, the protagonist, was her father. Right? It's a scene that's definitely very important to set up for what's to come. But how did you feel about the cops in this film in general?
I mean, the non-name ones. I mean, they were cops. I mean, I didn't really think much of them.
Really?
Yeah, no. I mean, I didn't really.
Okay. Well, hold on. Let me give some examples because I'll express what I thought about it. Because in the same way you. Okay, so did you ever get the feeling that these cops were the type that do whatever necessary to get the crook, right?
Oh, so
But
now
they
you talking
also
about like
are
the
kind
name
of.
ones? That's why I predicated when I said the non-name, because the name ones, as far as like the lead detective of the DEA, Ji Jong and his partner, they were wild. In that one scene when they went to go get the guy who's connected with the main group, I can't remember the name in my life. Oh, the main group is called 500, which stupid name by the way. Their whole goal was to get 500 bodies. Stupid, but nevertheless,
No,
when he
that
went
was.
and kicked the guy out of the wheelchair, I was like, bro, what if you got the wrong guy? You got a whole ass
Yeah,
lawsuit on
no.
your hands like that. My man was
You,
wilding.
yeah, no. I thought that guy was funny to me, but the fact that he just drop kicked the guy, like I'm just like these police officers
In the
don't care.
wheelchair. Nevertheless, guys, the guy was in a wheelchair.
That's not the only wild stuff that they did. It's just that to me,
Yeah,
the
yeah, I
police
know. That was like one of
officers
the main
in this.
examples I remember. And it's like even the scene where Chi Jong, like I said, the lead detective, he's like meeting with all the higher ups. They like telling him like, "Hey guys, let's like kind of cool off. We don't have really anything on the protagonist." He's like, "Yo guys, I want to throw in my career, my life to solve this case." I'm like, bro, might be seen as a murderer, but you about to lose your whole career over this? Like, it ain't.
No, well,
Why is it so
no,
personal to
now
you?
to be, no. Now to be fair, that so the way he reacted, I think he didn't care about the stranger at that point, right? He was more trying to figure out how the stranger was connected to the big mob boss that he's been working on. Now, we don't know how long he's been in this case or whatever, right? It was apparently important to him for some reason. Right? Like the thing is, the guy gives such protagonist vibes, right? Even though he is just a supporting cast. Because if he was a protagonist, you wouldn't think about it that hard. But since he's a supporting antagonist, you're like, why is the officer acting this way? The cops in this film, sometimes I feel like they were just another gang in a different way sometimes. Just saying, in this film, they didn't take crap. But moving on to my next question. My next question: how did you feel about the flashback scene with the protagonist and his wife? After we went further into the film and we got to that point.
There's a flashback. I mean, sure, the scene in itself was surprising. Like, came out of nowhere. His wife was in the car pregnant with his child with a dump truck, just murked her off. Like, bro, like, and then came out of the cut and started shooting. Got shots off. I want to say he got shot like 3 times. The only part I was like, yo, did you really have to kill the wife? Like, guys, if you would just hit him with the truck, mission complete.
Now, hold on. Now, here's what I actually think would happen in that scene. So, I think when he got the message, right, and he looked on his phone, they thought that he was in the car and he likely had the car. But they probably didn't realize that the wife was in the car. So, when he stepped out and he saw his wife literally get hit by the dump truck, the guy realized that he didn't finish it and then he just went to go shoot him.
Okay.
Now, it is possible they went for the wife too, but I think that's actually the thing that got to him.
Yeah,
Because when he was making...
Great way of thinking. I didn't have that thought process where it's like, it's a botch plan. Because they're showing the whole part where he gets a text, it's numbers. It's literally just numbers. Like, there's no text. He walks out and hit by the wife. We don't know what those numbers mean.
The numbers were basically confirming that, this is the person, right? And then next thing you know, blam. But when they realized that they didn't get him and it was someone else because he is, a special, a bad dude, really good at what he does, they're just going to finish the job.
There's a special military operative agent. But I mean, it's funny, like the whole scene, how it happens, it makes me even second guess the fact that I'm going to choose a letter on my side, or the fact that when they hit the car with the wife in it, they hopped out almost immediately. Like, there was like no pause in between to like check the car to see if he was in there. They just hopped out the cut and started blue, 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 blue. Put my man with all the lid. That was fast as hell for them not to like confirm that he was in the car.
It was more of a, now it's time to leave. Oh, this dude is still there. Okay, pop him. But, that's how I read this scene. You could be right that it was just basically they just went for the wife for no reason, right?
Yeah, it's unclear.
They said that but they said there were 2 special forces in that mission, right? So it is possible they could have mixed her up as the second special force person, but hey, I personally like that scene. I thought it was great, right? Made me really feel for the protagonist, right? Mostly because I just didn't expect his wife to go out that way, right? It was very sudden in the way that you wouldn't expect.
Yeah.
And he got shot. Hey. But speaking of the guy coming out of the cut and just started shooting, right? Oh, I gotta make a joke. I know because you watch anime. Don't you find it funny that it was a truck that took her out? Like, what is with them in taking out people's trucks? I want to make the joke that the wife went to another, world where she became a protagonist in that
Isekai
place, but yeah. So how did you feel about the villains in this film?
You have to break it down because there was a few different villains.
I know. I mean, in the general context, how did you feel about the villains?
I like the fact that the movie, they didn't try to go through any parts to redeem them outside of the one character, Roland. Well, the guy basically does all the martial arts fighting between him and Tae. He was the one who probably had like the most bit of redemption. The fact that he did save the girl from getting her eyes taken out at the end portion of the movie. But as far as the other villains, like, hey, we knew what they are. We're talking like drug dealers, harvesters, even that one guy, like, he does the grape to the one girl. It shows like, hey, these guys are bad guys. There's no need to feel sympathy for any of them.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the villains were basically portrayed in a cartoon way, right? I did like the brothers and how they did kind of backstab the guy, right?
Yeah.
But even that came across as kind of a childish backstab and not a calculated backstab, right?
It was calculated.
Yeah, I think it was calculated. It's just the way like they were speaking on the phone. I'm like that didn't come across as.
Oh no, you mean the reaction to it? Like, yeah, the whole thing where it's like, yo man, we got you. Like, bro, like, what if
Yeah.
he makes it out of this? Which he does. They just gotta be happy that they had the
Yeah.
better assassin. My God, Ro. That's what I'm gonna call him. His name is
Oh,
Ro from now on.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Well, actually, speaking of him, there's something I wanted to bring up with the English and sub versions of it because it's important context, right? So that guy is Vietnamese, but also, if I'm wrong on that, feel free to correct me in the comments. But more importantly, he doesn't speak the same language as everyone does in the film. That's why he's mostly silent in the English dub.
For when he spoke. So I had
Yeah.
the same thoughts as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That might not be clear to some people on first watching, right? Especially when they have that conversation with them after that. So when the little girl manages to befriend him, right? And he doesn't basically speak ever outside of the one vehicle scene, right? That little girl managed to get through him past a language, which kind of speaks to her character in a way, right? I thought they were going to go down a darker route in the film. I'm kind of glad they didn't. She is literally thrown into the wolves, and it's just like, okay.
Hey, our protagonist, he just kind of, he's reactive, and then he starts becoming proactive towards like the middle to the end part of the movie. But I mean, sure, we're rooting for him, but it's for her. Purely for her.
Yeah.
In
Yeah,
my opinion, that's how I feel personally.
Yeah, so I think you're right about the villains basically being cartoons, although 500
you said
really
that.
just
I just
takes
thought
the
they were.
cake.
You said that they were cartoons. I call them villains. I thought they're just
Okay,
for
well,
marked
my
up
bad.
as they
Okay,
are.
okay,
Like, hey, we
my
bad.
bad.
You gotta deal with it. All right.
Okay, my bad. Okay, I
I
thought
call
they
them
were sometimes
cartoonish.
cartoon. Well, cartoonish is maybe being a disservice, but 500
Yeah.
came across as cartoonish as 100%.
Which
Like,
one?
it was so cartoonish that he made 500.
Oh,
The guy that got his eyes taken out. Yeah.
the surgeon.
He was the funniest part to me, and unintentionally funny. But I guess that was because I was watching the English dub, and he kind of made me laugh in the juxtaposition of that scene. It was just like, here's your mother right here, and the girl just fucking, the girl's just staring at him.
I just want to say thank you guys for joining with us. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos coming your way. Thanks, guys. Peace.